Time for the Mrs. Favorite segment. I'm checking out Wani, the Mafia Playboys of China. Not entirely sure what that is. But it's Wani. It's Wani. Most of the time, I just get disgusted, but I think I'm healed enough to where I can see a surgical procedure and not worry. I think.
What is it about fame that makes people completely lose the plot? Because only a select few of those associated in China's influencer celebrity circle make it out big. And one of them flew a bit too close to the sun. Because there's one guy who went from a rich Douyin live streamer who created his own harem of beautiful women to throwing all of that away to join the Chinese mafia. All with the goal of ruling the city, which led to one of the craziest organized crime events in Taiwan. Yeah, might be one of the weirdest career changes of all time. So over the past few years, a live streamer on Douyin named Lian Tianyi exploded all over the internet. Imagine the stereotypical tough rich guy who has absolutely zero shame of flexing everything he owns. Gold chains, designer bags, luxury watches, and cars. The domineering CEO vibe that every netizen is obsessed with these days. And he's already built a massive following as a live streamer and a businessman. I mean, he literally lives in a mansion where his garage looks like a car exhibition. Now, besides that, he genuinely did have a unique personality, which made him stood out. And he was actually good at selling products on live stream. He knew exactly how to talk to people and how to keep viewers engaged, and also convince them that they absolutely needed whatever he happened to be auctioning off that day. I mean, his biggest viral moment was during a live stream where he sold a $3 million yacht in less than 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. While it usually takes us more than 10 weeks to be able to plan a hangout with our friend groups.
1亿元的游艇，阿祖姆的这一台2011年的2010、2021的这一台，来，现在我有写底标，得标的送一卡全新爱马仕35万，来，再加发财金100万给你。
Oh yeah, he also sold an entire helicopter during one stream. Like, this is a feat that most people can't achieve. If wealthy people wanted it, chances are Lan was auctioning it on stream. Now here's the thing, flexing your money on Chinese social media isn't exactly revolutionary, so why did Lan stand out?
Is there something in the water in China? Is there something in the water in general? Influencers do this all the time, like where they're constantly hawking wares at people. Most of the time, it's things they don't even want to use themselves. They're just pushing it onto other people because they want to get a kickback. I don't understand how people are so easily swayed in because, oh, I like this person, I'm gonna buy what they're offering. Like, I understand when like Wani had that one video I watched, and the only thing I liked about the video was his sponsored ad. Because of that, I was wanting to buy one of those posters. But at the same time, it's just like, I would get it just because I would need it. I would want some decor, and it's something I could actually get. And then he also has a video where he's trying to sell soap. And it's just like, not that I am not clean, it's just, why would I need to buy a special soap or whatever just for a nice colored box? There are so many things where people easily, and I'm not saying like having a brand deal is not a bad thing. Having a brand deal is not a bad thing. It's actually good for a lot of content creators to get a brand deal so that way they can actually, well, make a living. They could make a living. I mean, I don't, like, again, I don't want to be a sellout, but if there was something I actually use, like, heck, if I got a Starlink brand deal, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I use it to stream. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I wouldn't be able to do this. It took me, like, I would have been streaming when I first started, like in 2005. But the thing is, I couldn't because I had 10 MBS down, and that, no, it was 7 MBS down, 0.03 up. It got to the point when I started this page because I didn't have Starlink. I was driving into town to the place I worked, which had a slightly faster internet, to upload there. Because what would take 5 hours to upload one, I think it was like a 5-minute to 10-minute review, 4 to 5 hours, would take like 30 minutes in town at the job I worked at at the time. It was crazy, absolutely insane. But I did YouTube because I enjoyed it. I've always had fun with it, and thanks to Starlink, I can actually make a nuisance of myself live for you all to enjoy. But that's the thing. It's just like, he's just hawking wares because he wants to get a kickback. And I see that so much online. Like, heck, some people make their careers on YouTube basically calling out TikTokers who, in one thing, when they realize other people got a brand deal, they're pissed off talking about how that brand is fake. And then like a month later, they get the deal with that same brand and they're talking about how it's the best thing and they'll never use anything other than that. It's just, these people are so fake. So freaking fake. Again, there's got to be something in the water that gets people to just forget what people have said previously or forget their common sense and just buy what's put in front of them. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, that's the thing. If I ended up having a brand deal, I would expect everyone to skip it or like, just because YouTube has that feature. But the thing is, maybe somebody would be interested and be like, you know what? Maybe that does sound nice. But that's the thing. It's for the people that thinks it sounds nice. Other than that, it's just like, just skip it. Just skip it. I don't know. Because I just think it's weird to, especially with those people who sell something they don't truly believe in.
So much compared to everybody else. He was also good at charming women because he created an entire harem of the prettiest influencers that always accompany him at all times. Standing by his side were two sidekicks, 24-year-old Suho and Suyu. Dan was always picky with his women, but he kept these two incredibly close, especially during live streams, because before long, people online started referring to them as a part of his harem. Every live stream looked like the opening scene of a billionaire C-drama because both Suho and Suyu were constantly competing for Lian's attention. People weren't watching just to buy luxury products anymore. They wanted to know who Lian likes today and who was jealous today. I know it's ridiculous, but like, it worked really well. But among the two, there was one person who stood out the most, and that was Suho, and she was by far the closest person to Lian. What's interesting is that she didn't come across as someone who was chasing his money. In fact, it looked like the complete opposite. She worked as a model, drove around in a bright pink RA, and constantly showed off her designer bags. It almost seemed like Lian was...
She was just wearing a shirt. Again, this is why I don't want to be disrespectful towards like the female creators who try, but I swear this is a male-dominated field, and men primarily want to watch women for a specific reason. Is it disgusting? Yes, but for some reason, some people tend to only follow their baser instincts. So it's like, you can tell, it's just like, if that's what you're deciding to wear, in quotations, wear, then I can see how people are watching, how they're following. Maybe there's gonna be a infernal affairs moment that they will be able to see since it's live. I mean, the whole thing's just like insane. Put on some clothes, please.
Lucky to have her around rather than the other way around. So some netizens started calling her Lian Tianyi's successor. Others joked that she was basically his right-hand woman and also the only person that was capable of inheriting his live stream empire if anything had happened to him. And millions of people tuned in to see the next chapter unfold with this love triangle of his. But unfortunately for everyone, things were about to change completely. Because what started off looking like a millionaire love triangle slowly transformed into a full-blown crime investigation. For starters, he was accused of selling counterfeit designer suitcases and luxury bags through his live streams. And honestly, that's already a terrible look and also a very serious crime. And it also didn't help that he had this very aggressive and intimidating demeanor to him. When one of his customers tried to return some products, he basically threatened them, saying that he'd return a favor of his own because they weren't grateful. Oh, you want to return this? Sorry, customer service isn't really my thing. And if that wasn't...
It's funny how they're selling knockoffs to their fans. I mean, of course, China's the nation of knockoffs. It's easy for them to create the knockoffs. Like, that's what's funny is like a lot of the massive name brands are just the like the knockoffs are just the offshoots that didn't have the correct amount of stitches or whatever it may be. Because most of the time they're made in the same factory. They just put a logo on it. But yeah, I mean, it's... Again, I don't know much about the manufacturing of clothes, but still, it's the whole thing's just insane.
Wild enough, he also threatened them, saying that he'd give them $100 in a white envelope. For anyone unfamiliar with Taiwanese slang, a white envelope is associated with funerals. That incident got him a sentence of 60 days in detention for intimidation. But this controversy was just the beginning because it slowly became a part of his brand. People knew not to mess with him because this guy was not only fearless, but he also had money, a huge following, and power. And that reputation he built up extended so far that he eventually joined a full-fledged gang. Lian eventually became associated with the Sun Society, a branch of Taiwan's Tiandao allowance, which is one of the country's 3 major organized crime groups. The Sun Society is considered as one of Taiwan's most dangerous triads or mafia divisions, with operations extending beyond Taiwan itself into parts of mainland China. That's a pretty serious name to have attached to you. And the vibes changed real quick because just 1 year after joining and obtaining this new level of power, his life spiraled out of control. One night, Lian got upset over some comments that a female netizen made against his products. And at the same time, a pet shop owner named Chung also made comments supporting that female netizen. Also, this wasn't the first time that Lian and Chung had beef. They have a history of this. Instead of just letting this go and ignoring these hate comments, Lian instructed his subordinates to go and intimidate both of them. That confrontation eventually snowballed into what would become the live streamer chaos incident. On the night of September 17th, 2019, both sides clashed on the street. Lian and his subordinates planned to trash his entire store and also just start breaking things and intimidate him. That's it. Well... Oh yeah, that'll teach him. Wait, guys, that's not even the right person. We got the wrong guy. Yeah, Lian's group initially attacked the wrong person. Whoops, false alarm, and right after that mistake...
That's organized crime for you. That's organized crime for you. Again, you would think organized crime would be meticulous. I guess it's not like they make it in the movies. It's not like they make it in the movies. They don't know your address. They don't know... Yeah, it's funny. My wife is a better organized crime informant than most organized crime. I'll just leave it at that. No, she is not a raw agent. I got to clarify that, but she is a much better informant than, well, most informants in general. She has a way of getting to the information, let's just say. No, she is not a raw agent. And I'm definitely not with the CIA. See, I can't even say it right. But yeah, I mean, it's so funny. How do you get the wrong address?
And found the actual guy, Chung, and ordered his subordinates to fire 4 shots at his pet shop. Are we serious? Luckily, nobody was hurt though, okay? But over internet drama, and this fight was just going back and forth, which led to 4 separate confrontations, creating serious public safety concerns throughout Kaohsiung. And at this point, yeah, this is not just online beef anymore. Police found and arrested Lian Tianyi in Zhonghe district that day, and he was put behind bars for 1 year as he was awaiting his final verdict. Chung was also arrested for this, and shortly after, he was questioned and then released. At the same time, they also arrested 8 additional suspects connected to the shooting at the pet shop. Investigators seized 2 handguns along with 35 rounds of ammunition, and police determined that all 8 suspects were employees of Lian's company. And as investigators kept searching locations connected to this case, they reportedly found 2 Sun Society badges. And after this event happened, several members of the Sun Society were arrested, and this created significant damage in their faction. So it's pretty clear that Lian Tianyi flew a bit too close to the sun. After spending about 1 year behind bars, Lian Tianyi finally was released on bail, and he made a huge announcement. On September 9th of 2020 at 9:09 p.m., he would go live talking about his entire experience with prison and what happened, and just updating all of his fans. Sure enough, when the stream started, people almost flooded in immediately. I mean, it reached over 20,000 viewers instantly. Yeah, I need a quick break from all this. I mean, like a vacation. You know how when you travel and your data either becomes crazy slow or stops working? Yeah, I've been using this eSIM app called Saily, and it fixes everything. Instead of looking for Unk at the airport to help you buy a SIM card,
honestly,
leave him alone. All you gotta do is just download it on your phone, pick a country, get a data plan, and you got internet instantly. It also works in over 200 plus.
Honestly, I've been looking into Saily. I think it's the next time I go to India. I'm not gonna say when, but it'll be a while. The next time I go to India, I might actually utilize that because the other trust. It's basically affiliated with the other sources I use. But yeah, I don't want to do an ad, so I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, I enjoy doing what. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Sponsoring this video.
Seems trusty.
We're all hyped up to see what had happened to Lian and for him to explain everything. And his fans, his haters, everyone was in. But something felt different this time. Like, way different. Normally, Lian always carried himself as this domineering CEO, the most powerful guy in the room. But this time, he seems surprisingly approachable. He spent the broadcast talking about what prison had been like and explaining that he was currently out on bail and also that he wanted to move forward with his life. It sounded like it was going to be his redemption arc, and he's putting all of the things in the past behind him. Except, out of nowhere, the stream abruptly just ended. It only lasted 20 minutes, and to make things even weirder, he deleted the stream right afterwards. So people were like, wait, what happened? Why'd he end it? Was somebody watching? Did his lawyer call him or something? People were left guessing, and for a good 2 years, Lian stayed really low-key and just stayed away from public attention. But then we would eventually find out his inevitable fate. Because on June of 2023, it was announced that Lian Tianyi was sentenced to 7 years in prison for charges connected to the livestream chaos incident. Yeah, it was not a happy ending for him. His redemption arc did not get through. Media cameras were everywhere as he arrived at New Taipei District Court, and Lian also showed up wearing a simple...
The way he's dressed just reminds me of the martial artist in Kung Fu Hustle. He's got the slippers, he's got the shorts, he's got the wife beater, he's got the scrawny build. But you know he's gonna be beating up almost every single fit person in the room. Of course, not really, because that's a comedy movie. That's absolutely spectacular. But yeah. The fact that he's dressed, that just popped into my head.
Tank top and shorts, like no designer suits or any chains. prison court. But don't worry, the luxury entrance was still there because he arrived in a Rolls Royce with multiple other cars accompanying him. Following him were 10 of his associates, all dressed in black. And as Lian was surrounded by multiple reporters asking him questions, he said, "It turns out I don't have any friends at all."
最后有没有什么话想要跟家人啊、粉丝说一下？没有啊，祝大家身体健康，好，心想事成，谢谢。那这次有什么样的准备吗？没有，就早点进去，早点出来。没有。这次手上有带什么东西？我的行李，还有我的要用的东西。好好的学习啊，好好的进修，跟当兵一样嘛。
Lian finally hugged his family goodbye, saying, "I wish everyone good health. After I go in, I will exercise and study. I hope to go in and come out as soon as possible." And that was the end of Lian Tianyi's arc. But this is where things start getting even weirder. Because while everyone was focused on Lian's conviction, netizens noticed that something wasn't adding up. That confrontation at Cheng's pet shop, some netizens looked at it and were like, wait, Chen's side looks suspiciously prepared. Now this was just speculation, but people started asking, did somebody tip them off? If so, who? And that's when everyone's attention shifted towards one person, Lian's closest subordinate, Suho. The glamorous influencer who was constantly by Lian's side and also his favorite, the one netizens crowned as his successor, the one who would inherit his livestream empire. Well, after Lian went to prison, a huge portion of his fan base migrated to her. She started live streaming herself and viewers tuned in, and her popularity skyrocketed, with her modeling career blowing up even more. Suddenly people were wondering, was she using him all along? Why did she benefit from all of this? And many netizens became convinced that she was responsible for Lian's downfall. So people started digging deep, and
that streamer looks like a gang leader in that movie. I don't know. I wouldn't say so. Maybe if he was wearing the black suit, the fedora, and walking around with a hatchet, then maybe. But it was the fact that he was dressed that way. It was like, nah.
They started investigating her, which uncovered a lot. Remember, Suho had always portrayed a rich luxury lifestyle, and she always said that she was wealthy. She didn't need Lian's money. She was well off and had already come from a wealthy family. But people immediately started calling cap, because if you think about it, if you're genuinely a rich heiress, why would you spend your days live streaming alongside a controversial influencer who was being accused of being in the Chinese mafia? And instead of simply arguing with them, she wanted to show it. So she invited a production team from an online show to film a surprise tour of what she claimed was her luxury apartment in one of Taipei's most prestigious districts. The video
just look, I don't know how China works, but it's like you can look up addresses. You can find the names to who owns places. In the US, you can literally look things up with actual information. But the fact that she was pretending to be wealthy in order to gain wealth, it's just like what Western influencers do. Like, there are a few. Well, some of them are going to be put in prison right now. They're in trials right now because they kept just taking money, and never returning money back, and then just constantly scamming people. If you want to be rich like I am, buy my course. You know, that kind of nonsense. They would rent cars. They would rent a house. They would rent, like, everything that their life of luxury is all, well, on loan, hoping for when they make it, they can actually own it. But the thing is, most of them don't actually make it, but they do scam their, I'm going to use the term audience loosely, because a lot of those people aren't audiences. They're there to be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that lifestyle type of thing. That's why I feel like it's best to be honest about my lifestyle, because I'm happy. Of course, I would enjoy more. I would enjoy to be content, but I'm happy in my life, but I'm not well off. I'm not well off. Like, most of the stuff I have here, I mean, I built this background myself. Lumber, everything. I just have a few of my things, like books that I enjoyed, drawing I did of me and my wife before we got married. You know, even behind, I got like a few Legos and things like that. Just because I did it. I did it all myself. And I put extra money from me working into getting camera, microphone, all that kind of stuff. Because I love IT. I've always loved IT. So it's just like, for me, it's just a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. But it is so sad how people do fall into that rabbit hole, and that's what she did. She was apparently faking it till making it. I mean, we'll find out more in a second. But so many people do that, and so many people lie to everyone watching. Should everyone who watches and follows you know everything about you? No, I don't think so. But at the same time, there should be a bit of transparency. There should be. Like, look at, like, what is it? Charlie Moist Critical came clean about how much he makes. Still has the same amount of views. Asmongold is always transparent about how much he makes. Still has the same amount of views. Ludwig just came forth about how much he makes a month. And he's gained more respect for being transparent. He's gained more respect. I mean, I don't care for his content to begin with, but I have respect for the fact that he's like, this is what I make. I'm every month I'm a millionaire. I just have another million. It's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I think it's there's something about transparency and being forthright with the viewers than, well, the constant pretend, or those those people who do on fake podcasts to do a short just so they can gain followers and views, even though that podcast never existed to begin with. That kind of stuff.
Released was called Surprise Attack on the Harris, and it immediately went viral. Walking in, you see expensive furniture, designer interiors. Right by the entrance, you'll see a massive shoe cabinet packed with hundreds of high heels and limited edition sneakers. Then came a giant glass display cabinet showcasing bags like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, as if someone had turned their entire living room into a boutique. Seriously, it looked like a museum, and her balcony overlooked the entire city. And then she took everyone downstairs, and sitting there was her famous pink Audi R8. Originally priced at over 11 million new Taiwan dollars, or around 340k, she proudly claimed that she earned the supercar through her own hard work. I mean, look at the evidence. How are you not convinced? If anything, Lian was chasing her. Just as Nessun started finally believing that she was a wealthy influencer, somebody from her past came out with receipts. And it was allegedly exposed that Suho was a socialite, which meant that she was attempting to create a fake high-end image of herself when she's not actually wealthy. Basically trying to look rich online, infiltrate wealthy men, network with millionaires, rent luxury cars, bags, apartments to take photos in. Fake it till you make it. And part of this process was her undergoing extensive plastic surgery so that she could match her appearance with that luxury lifestyle. Then more things came out about Suho, pictures of her family that were from the working class. And according to this past friend, it turns out that Suho allegedly left school at a very young age and spent years moving through various KTVs and nightclubs, hoping to meet wealthy businessmen, millionaires, and people with status. Because Suho came from a normal background, she rarely discussed her family in the entertainment industry and avoided talking about where she came from.
It's funny, me and my wife just watched the Elise movie that came out. Like the movie of it. This sounds a lot like it. Going to the clubs to find someone rich and wealthy. Hopefully they'll pick you up and add you a part of their life. Like, oh my gosh.
Little by little, it seemed like the goal was to climb the social ladder however she could, which then led to the biggest theory of all. The theory that was speculated was that the identity Suho carefully built as Lan Tianyi's trusted successor had all been planned from the very beginning. This theory started cooking because they believed that the woman who had once been Lan Tianyi's right-hand woman was now the person behind his downfall. But that's just a theory. And despite all of this controversy and all of the allegations, Suho's career didn't collapse. It actually kept growing. Yeah, while Lian disappeared into prison, her audience didn't disappear. She kept building her influencer career and continued presenting this luxury lifestyle, and her fanbase just kept rapidly growing over the years. She also participated in Miss Asia beauty pageant and won the Miss Photogenic Award. She eventually became one of Taiwan's most famous celebrities, reaching around 3.6 million followers. So, she actually became even more successful and more popular after the scandal, which is honestly one of the weirdest twists in this entire story. Seeing where she is today, her content gradually shifted. She launched her own personal brand and is also a licensed florist now. And she's come a long way. I mean, she kind of got her own redemption arc here. So, I mean, respect to her. Meanwhile, Lian Tianyi, as of today, he is still in prison and is being expected to be released around 2029 or 2030. So far, the only thing we know from him is that his sister visited him in prison and he said that he's currently studying, reading books, and genuinely changing as a person. Now, whether this will change him or not, only time will tell. And by then, I'll make sure to update you guys, but I do hope that he gets his own redemption arc as well. But if there's one thing to take away from this entire journey, it's that no matter how big you get, there will always be something from your past coming back to haunt you. Maybe not immediately, but eventually there will be this one unstoppable force coming after you. And that force is the Council of Chinese Netizens. Stay.
How fake is social media? I mean, the depth it has keeps surprising me again and again. Yeah, I mean, every time you feel like the scumminess of it can't get any worse, it just gets worse. Things just get worse, and it's kind of insane, really, kind of insane, because I don't understand how so many people can just, what's the best way to say it? Because be fake, pretend. I mean, how like, I understand, like, in order to believe a lie, you must first convince yourself. Do they truly, literally believe themselves, or is it like a LARP where as soon as the stream's down, as soon as the TikTok, the 60-second TikTok is done, do they start laughing? I mean, that's something I'm curious about. What exactly is in all that? There's just something about this. So again, I've always been kind of put myself out there. I've always been more of an open book type of person. I don't mind being abrasive. I've always been louder than my siblings. I've always been a very direct person. I speak my mind. I mean, there have been cases where I have really hurt people's feelings because I'm just bluntly honest. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know how to, like it for years, not until I think recently I've started to learn, my wife can clarify this if it's true or not. I think I've started to learn how to sugarcoat things a little better, but maybe not. Maybe not. She'd be able to definitely contradict that if it's not entirely true. But the thing is, like, I've always been kind of a loud, abrasive person. I've always been kind of incredibly transparent. If I don't like something, I'm honest about it. There are always those people, like, I'd watch reviewers back in the day, and like there is that moment you realize that when they're reviewing something, they're not being honest about it. They're being the most piecemeal about it. Like for me, you know when I really like something, you know when I really hate something. When I'm really just meh about something, it's just like, I saw it. When I really hate something, I focus in on the problems that I didn't like. Try to find one or two things I might have liked about it, but normally just focus in on the things that destroyed it for me. And then when I really like something, I'm passionate about it. And then I'll watch reviewers, and for most of them, it was just like, everything was good. And at a certain point, I was just like, gosh, I can't stand this. Why can't you just be honest about how you feel about something? Sure, you might lose some of your audience, but maybe they don't like honesty. They don't like transparency. They want to be in a bubble. And again, that's for them. But people need to be able to be more honest and outspoken about things. That's honestly how I've always felt. How I've felt. Sure, you can grow with time. You can learn with time. But the problem is, it's better to know who you are going into things, and heck, maybe educate yourself throughout. Like, I'm honest about the things I'm ignorant about. I'm honest about it because it's like, I don't know about it. How can I speak on something like that? I'm not going to pick a side. I don't know nothing about that stuff. But when I feel like I have an inkling or an understanding on a situation, I have no problem talking about it. But then again, I'm transparent. I don't want to be like those fake people who will pretend to just, oh, this is what's popular right now. Let me talk about it. Like, no, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, like that.